friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog. Today's reading vlog actually has one goal, and that is to find a 5-star book. I don't think I've had a single 5-star read in 2026. I honestly don't even know the last time I had a 5-star read, but I know that I need to find one as soon as possible. So in other words, this video will end when I find a 5-star read. No matter how long that may take, it may take days, it may take weeks, it may even take months. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but I'm not allowed to stop reading until I find a 5-star read. So really quick, a 5-star read for me is when I am emotionally invested from the very beginning. Like, I am obsessed with the characters, I'm obsessed with the plot setup, I'm obsessed with the writing style, and I just don't want the book to end. When I put the book down, all I want to do is pick it back up. When I finish the book, all I can do is think about it and miss those characters as if they were my best friends. So that is what a 5-star read is for me, is when I'm emotionally invested from the very beginning, and when I finish the book, I just cannot stop thinking about it. So I do have a few strong contenders for this video. And the first book that I'm going to be starting that I think has 5-star potential is Alchemized by Sun Yu. This one I've heard so much about, and I really just want to see what the hype is for myself. The back says, "What is it you think you're protecting in that brain of yours? The war is over, Holdfast is dead, the internal flame extinguished. There's no one left for you to save." Like, that alone has me very intrigued to want to jump into this book. And also the cover is like so dark and like so fantasy. Like, I really just have high hopes for this one, and again, I've heard so many good things about it. So this is the first book that I think has 5-star potential. It is a bit of a longer book, that's why I'm starting with this one, kind of just like get the harder one over with first. And I have this little bookmark to go with it. I usually don't use bookmarks, I usually just use whatever is around me, but I recently got this pack of bookmarks and this one is so cute, and I feel like the pink is kind of just lightening the darkness of this book. So that is the bookmark I will be using for this book, and this is the first book we're going to see if it's a 5-star read. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Alchemized, and I will update you when I have any thoughts. I've literally only read a chapter, but so far I am so intrigued, and I feel like the way that the story has started is so chaotic that I like just have to sit here and keep reading, because I need to know what happened to why this is going on, and like what's going on with our main character so far is just kind of like very intriguing. So far I'm really enjoying this one, even though I'm only a chapter in. I'm just loving the way that the world is being set up and the characters are being introduced. So I thought I would update you on my thoughts and my progress on Alchemized so far. I did get to part 2 last night, so I am slowly but surely making my way through this book. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the world building. I feel like the author is giving us pieces of the world kind of in a slow, gradual way, which I really enjoy that, rather than just the world completely being thrown at you. And then we're also getting glimpses of the past through our main characters, like flashbacks, which I really enjoy because I feel like it adds this overall mystery to everything with like what they're trying to figure out. And from what I understand in part one, we're basically just being introduced to this world and these characters, and we're also getting like these glimpses of the past and like the history between our characters and the events that took place before this book that kind of prompted what's going on in this book. And what I'm really enjoying in this book is the magic system is alchemy based, and that's what the magic system was in The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is a book that I absolutely love. So I love alchemy based magic, and I'm super interested to see how our characters are gonna play into that and like which powers each character has. I find that really interesting. I'm not gonna lie, the story is definitely taking some time to build up, but honestly the pacing has not been an issue for me whatsoever. Everything feels super intentional, like the author is just setting everything up for something really big to happen. Like I said, I just made it to part 2 and my attention is definitely hooked. This is a very bingeable book in my opinion. Like when I pick this book up, I do not want to put it down, and I really want to see more of the character dynamics, how the magic system actually works, and honestly just the overall plot in general, like where it's going. I'm really interested to see how it's all going to play out. So right now I'm really just in the mood to sit down and try and read as much as I possibly can. This book is over 1,000 pages and I'm only like 300 pages in, so I'm not too sure how long this is going to take me, but I definitely want to sit here and read as much as I possibly can. I feel like things are about to get really interesting with how part 1 ended. And as far as 5-star feelings go, I'm not gonna lie, I have very strong feelings about this book already. I'm so hooked and I love the writing style. I love the setup of the world and the plot and the magic system, but I still have about 700 pages to go, so it's definitely a little too early to be having such big feelings around this book, but I have really good feelings about this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump back in and see how far I can make it today. Okay, little alchemized update because I'm now 490 pages into this book and I'm still really loving it. Part 2 actually shifted into the past timeline, so now we're finally getting to see everything that actually went down during the war. We're getting a lot more history and context surrounding the war. We're getting to see how the Necrothals are really created and what their purposes are. But there's also these like smaller everyday moments with our main character Helena, which is honestly really bringing the world to life for me. Just watching her in the hospital or foraging or like walking the town, like it makes the world feel so much more alive and real. And then we're also seeing how our two main characters in part 1, how they originally met and kind of what their arrangement was. And then we're getting to see them kind of get to know each other, and I don't know if it's a friendship or not. I'm definitely getting some enemies to lovers vibe because he is the enemy and she was sent there on like a mission to kind of get information from him. So I'm kind of sensing an enemies to lovers situation here, but I don't know if it's going to be enemies to lovers to enemies because of what I've read in part 1. Like I just don't see them as lovers, but also she doesn't have her memories in part 1, so like I don't know. I'm definitely getting some enemies to lovers energy though, and I'm actually obsessed with it. And I think part 3 is when we switch back to the present timeline, and I really want to see how all of this past information that we're getting is going to connect to the present timeline and like what it all means in the present timeline. But I'm really loving this book. I'm loving our characters. I'm loving their dynamics and the magic system in this book. Everything so far really has my attention hooked, and I still have really big feelings about this book. Imagine if we get a 5-star read on the first book that I read. Like I honestly thought this book would be a 5-star because I've heard nothing but good things about it. But the fact that I'm almost 500 pages into this book and the pacing is not bothering me whatsoever, like I'm loving to see all of the everyday moments between our main characters and just like watching them get to know each other, and also just like the context of the war. Like I'm so interested in all of it and my attention is so hooked. Like I feel like that says a lot about a book when my attention is hooked, even 500 pages into it. I'm gonna jump back into this book and try and get as far as possible today. I really want to try and read as much as I can because I'm trying to get to part 3 because I'm just so interested to see how this all connects. Also, the dynamic between our two main characters right now, like, it is so fascinating because, like, he has to have an ulterior motive. Like, there's no way he's just doing this out of the kindness of his heart. So, like, I need to know why he's doing this, like, why he's doing what he's doing. I somehow still have about 400 pages left of Alchemized, but it is so good and like so much has happened and so much is going down. I am at the part where they just got back from rescuing Luke. I am so intrigued to see what happens. We're getting so much more character development and relationship development with our two main characters, which I am loving to see. And the reason that one of our main characters is doing what he's doing, like I was confused about in the beginning, it's making so much more sense. Like, it's all coming into the light and I am just having such a good time with this book. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely a couple scenes where my heart was ripped out, but I'm gonna keep going regardless because I expect that to be the beginning of my heart getting ripped out. Like, I do not think I am prepared for the end based on how much I am attached to these characters. I am so scared for what happens and for what's to come, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump back in. I'm on page 654, so I have about 470 pages left. I'm not too sure. I think it's like 1,000 pages. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into reading for today, and hopefully I can make it a decent way through, even though I feel like I've been saying that every day, and like every day I do make it a decent way through. Like, I'm reading at least 100 pages a day of this book, yet somehow I still have 400 pages to go. So let's lock in today and see how far we can get, and then I'll probably end up finishing it tomorrow, to be honest. And not to jump the gun or anything, but I think this is going to be a 5-star read. I just need to get through this last half. Not that I am prepared for it whatsoever, but I'm definitely excited to see how it's all going to play out and how our characters are all going to play out. The enemies to lovers is hitting so hard in this book. Like, the fact that they were true enemies, and it's taken so long, but like, it is just hitting so hard. I've low-key been reading the second half of this book a little slower. Like, it's taken me a while to get through part 2, and that is mostly because I do not want the story to be over yet. But I just got to part 3. The war is officially over and everyone is dead except for our main character, Helena, which we see that in the beginning. So I'm not like, I wasn't expecting anything different, but just like experiencing the war with these characters and now they're all dead, like, it definitely hurts a lot more than it did in the beginning. Like, in the beginning I didn't really care about the characters and the war like ending. Now that I went through this war with these characters, I was so like distraught when this war like came to an end, and like I just got so attached to all of the characters. And also I really loved watching Kane and Helena. It's like a forbidden enemies to lovers romance. I absolutely loved their relationship and like all that he taught her and all that she taught him. Like, I really loved part 2, and I'm low-key terrified to go into part 3, although a little excited because if the war is over and in the beginning they're like in the same place, and I think she's gonna get her memories back, because I think that's what part 2 was her kind of just like reliving it, because in part 1 she doesn't have her memories, and then at the end of part 1 I believe all of her memories come flooding back, and that's kind of what we got to see with part 2, is basically just her reliving her memories. So I'm hoping part 3 has some sort of happy ending in it, if I'm not gonna lie, but I've seen so many people sobbing to the end of this book, so I'm really not sure which way the story is gonna go. So I'm kind of terrified, but either way, I'm really excited to finish this book and to see how the end is gonna play out. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into this book and hopefully finish it today. I am starting on chapter 66, which is the first chapter of part 3. So wish me luck. If this does not end the way that I want it to, I am going to be so upset. Like, so upset. And so far, I am not liking the direction that this is going. Last night I ended up finishing Alchemized, or honestly, maybe it ended up finishing me, because I absolutely love this book. I thought the world building was so immersive, and even though it's over 1,000 pages long, I was honestly never bored. Like, there was always something going on, whether it was new discoveries, shifts in the war, or like progression in the relationships. Everything kept my attention so hooked. And there was so much character development in this book, especially with our main character, Helena. I wouldn't say if she was a completely different person at the end of this book. She still had like her core value of needing to protect everyone, but like seeing her progress from like who she was at the beginning to who she was at the end, like all throughout this book, she had so much character development. It was so strong and so prevalent throughout the whole book, and I absolutely loved seeing that. Same thing with Kane and Helena's relationship. There was so much development throughout the entire book as well, and I think that was honestly one of my favorite parts, because it had that true like enemies to lovers, forbidden romance, but something that started as like an arrangement turned into something so beautiful and so emotional. So I absolutely loved watching the relationship grow. I also loved how the war was handled. Like, it wasn't just the war was over and then everything is magically fine. The story really shows like the aftermath, how the land was affected, and how the other countries are reacting to it, and that really just made it feel more real and like overall a full circle moment with the war. Like, we didn't just end the war and everything was okay, happy ever after. Like, we really got to see the aftermath of the war and like the plans to rebuild and everything. So I really appreciated that as well. I will say that there was a few moments where the pacing did slow down a bit, but it honestly felt really intentional and it really helped to build these scenes and build this world up, and it also made the emotional moments hit way harder in my opinion. And I absolutely loved part 3 of this book. Like, everything wasn't perfectly tied up. There was still a lot of uncertainties in the air, especially when Kane is trying to get Helena to leave and she's kind of refusing to leave without him. And honestly, that part was so stressful as the reader, because it's like, you know why he can't come and it makes sense why he can't come. It's also like, you built all of this up and you're like playing with my emotions right now. So with that being said, I absolutely loved the epilogue. I thought it was perfect. Like, genuinely such a satisfying ending that felt so earned. And I feel like I was feeling all of the emotions that the characters were experiencing, especially in the epilogue, because I was like feeling that anxiety of like, this cannot be real. Something is gonna go wrong. This is too good to be true. Like, I was feeling all of the emotions that our characters were feeling, like all of the anxiety that was there, like I was feeling it as well. So I absolutely loved the epilogue. I feel like it was the perfect ending, and I feel like everything was so earned with how much they went through. And I literally woke up this morning and I was so sad that I wasn't able to just jump back into this world and be with these characters. So I think this is a book that is going to stick with me for a long time. I think I'm going to be thinking about these characters for a while, to be honest. And this video was supposed to end when I found a 5-star read, and even though it took me about 2 weeks to read this book, I did not expect it to happen with the first book that I pick up in this video. So that being said, it is about 2 weeks later. I have read one book, and drumroll please, it is most definitely a 5-star read for me. Which means that this video is officially over. It only took me one book, even though it's about 1,000 pages long. And mind you, this is my first 5-star read of the year. And honestly, I am still processing this one. I think this is a book that will stick with me for quite a while. I just absolutely love these characters and this world, and I don't think I'm going to be forgetting about it anytime soon. So definitely a 5-star read for me. Didn't think it was going to happen with the first book I read, but honestly, I'm not complaining. So let me know if you read this book and what your thoughts on it are, or if it's on your TBR. I'd love to hear that as well. And on the topic of 5-star reads, this is the only 5-star read I have found this year, so I would love it if you would comment down below what your 5-star reads have been this year, and I would love to check them out, see if I can find some more 5-star reads. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed hanging out with me and reading with me, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!